Welcome to the Landscaping Growth Script, the authority on building your landscaping business with better leads, higher value clients, and a year-round sales pipeline. Here's your host, landscape industry marketing expert, Katy Doss.
Welcome back to the Landscaping Growth Script, where we help landscaping business owners attract better clients and build predictable year-round growth. I'm your host, Katy Doss of Script Marketing, and every week we unpack the ideas, strategies, and stories behind exceptional landscaping businesses. And today, gang, we're talking about holiday lighting. And I want to say up front, if you're listening to this real time, it's probably early September. You're probably thinking, Katy, my crew's still out there sweating. It's not even fall yet. Why are we talking about Christmas lights? But I want you to sit with that reaction for a second, because that's exactly the problem we're going to solve today. So landscaping companies that offer holiday lighting as part of their business, as an enhancement, whatever it is, most of you start marketing that in early November, maybe late October, if you're ahead of the curve. And on the surface, that feels reasonable. Halloween wraps up, the air gets a little cooler, people start thinking about the holidays then, so you're posting about holiday lighting and it feels timed well. But here's what actually happens when you wait until November. Your competitors, a lot of the time, could have already been talking about it. Homeowners have already started forming an opinion about who they may call this year. They may start thinking, I am sick of climbing on the roof to put up holiday lights. We are going to hire somebody to do that this year. And then your calendar, which only has so many install slots in the time of year when you're installing those lights, is trying to fill up in the shortest, most compressed window of the entire year. So today, we're going to talk about why September is actually the ideal time to start marketing holiday lighting, not November. We're going to walk through a simple timeline you can follow starting right now, all the way through the holidays. We're going to talk about how to package your lighting services so that people say yes faster. And we're going to talk about something most companies completely miss, and that is the assets to collect this holiday season so that next year's marketing for these holiday lighting enhancements is 10 times easier. Because holiday lighting has a strange advantage most landscaping services don't have. It has a hard deadline every single year. And when something has a deadline, timing isn't a nice to have, it's the entire game. Also, we've got a free downloadable guide with this episode to help you plan your holiday lighting marketing strategy. So check that out at scriptmarketingcode.com/resources. All right, so let's get into it. I want to talk about why early November for most of you feels like the right time to start marketing for lighting, but it really isn't. It feels early, right? You're ahead of Thanksgiving. Yes, the Christmas items have been in Hobby Lobby since July, but people are probably not thinking about their holiday lighting yet, right? You feel like if it's early November, you feel like you're ahead of the rush. Compared to the company that starts talking about it in December, you look downright proactive, right? But here's the problem. You're not competing against the company that starts marketing their holiday lighting in December. You're competing against the homeowner's timeline, and that's different. That timeline doesn't start when you decide to post about it. It starts whenever they first start thinking about the holidays, and you can encourage them to think about it earlier and then choose you. So for a lot of your ideal clients, the ones who have the budget and they've got the right property to make this holiday lighting install look really incredible, they're thinking about it earlier than most. Some of them are planning big holiday parties in September. Some of them saw a neighbor's lighting last year and made a mental note to do something bigger and better this year. Some of them are just planners, right? They like things handled early. And by the time Thanksgiving hits, they've already made a decision about who they're going to call. So if holiday lighting is a big part of your revenue, if you do it at all, if your marketing hasn't shown up starting in September, you may not be in that decision. And there's also a really practical structural reason that November can be too late. And that has nothing to do with the buyer psychology. It has to do with your calendar, right? Holiday lighting has one of the tightest install windows of any service you offer, right? Most of that work happens within a matter of weeks, not months, which means that every day that you wait to start marketing is a day you're compressing your own ability to fill demand. Now, look, are people going to have you come out and install their holiday lighting at the end of September? No. But if you can fill that calendar by the end of September to actually install in November, that's revenue that you've got on the books. You know what's going to happen. You can plan with your team and everything runs a lot smoother. If you start booking in early November, you have a few weeks to sell and schedule and plan the install for the entire season. So think about it like this. If you start marketing holiday lighting in September, you can spread out the installs, you can plan for it, you can avoid some overtime and some crew burnout, and actually service more properties instead of turning some clients away because your calendar filled up in those 10 days that you were marketing things. So when I'm saying start in September, I don't mean start trying to install things in September. Nobody's ready to commit then. I'm saying plan the idea. Get your marketing ready to go starting in September, and then you can plan a slow roll. That way, you are the name that people associate with holiday lighting by the time they're ready to make that decision. Because remember, people don't see your ad one time and make the decision to buy from you. They have to see it multiple times. They may not even know that you do holiday lighting. So there's a little bit of an educational aspect, and the sooner that you start, the better it's going to go. All right, so let's talk about what this timeline looks like if you're starting in September and you're going through December, or I guess into December. Mid-September, so if you're listening to this real time, this is like next week, you want to start laying the groundwork. And this is not a hard sell for people. This is just awareness. You want to start posting reminders that you offer holiday lighting. You want to start showing some of the photos of last year's installs. Maybe send a quick email to your existing clients, letting them know that you're going to start booking soon and that installs are on a first come, first served basis. So if they want you to hold their spot, now's the time to email you. You want to pull all of your best before and after photos from last year. Hopefully you've got some video, just so that you're reminding people about what's possible. This is also the point in early September where you want to finalize your packages and pricing for the year so you're ready to quote quickly once that interest starts to roll in. Okay, so now you've done the work in early September. You've started that slow roll. You've gotten your stuff together. What happens in early October? Early October is when you're open to early bird booking. Now is when you start to make the actual ask. You want to send a dedicated email and run a short social push, hopefully with ads, announcing that booking is officially open. It's not too early to book holiday lighting. The sooner the better, all that good stuff. And that early bookers get the first pick of install dates too. Plus, if you want to incentivize further, you might want to offer a small early bird discount or some sort of bonus or add-on. Maybe it's the takedown service, whatever it is, if they book in October. This is where you can win a huge amount of business early simply by asking first, right? A lot of your competitors have not said a word yet. All right, so once we get into mid-October, hopefully things are cooling down a little bit. Not if you're here in Alabama with me, but if you're other places, maybe it's starting to get cooler. By now, you want to be posting probably weekly at a minimum about this offering. You want to share more transformations. You might want to up the budget on your paid ads that talk about holiday lighting. Share a video of your crew, maybe designing a layout for somebody who has booked early. If you're running paid social ads, this is a great time to retarget anyone who has engaged with your content or visited the holiday lighting page on your website, which you have to have. If you offer this as a service, you need a dedicated holiday lighting page on your website. You want to make sure that you're communicating to people, look, Halloween's right around the corner. And once it passes, holiday mode kicks into gear. And so do we. Get us on your calendar. Let us get you on our calendar, right? All right, November is where the money is, right? We've got a full campaign push. November is when you go all in. Increase that ad spend if you're running paid campaigns, which you should be. Ramp up that posting cadence. Ask happy past clients for referrals and reviews. Say, hey, if you know a neighbor who maybe doesn't do a great job with their outdoor lighting for holidays, let us know. Give us a referral. Of course, you're going to already be scheduling installs for your early bird bookers so your crews know what is coming. And then this way, by the time your competitors start marketing holiday lighting in early November, you're already midway through filling up your install calendar. That is the difference that September gives you. Now, December, you're always going to have some stragglers who wait until after Thanksgiving, right? To be perfectly honest, I am a wait until after Thanksgiving for Christmas kind of gal. I want the Friday after Thanksgiving, that's when the tree goes up. So some people are not going to call you until then. You are still going to get those last minute inquiries into December, people who forgot or started thinking about it late. You've got that short list of remaining open dates, and you're going to communicate to them about what's still available. If you don't have anything available, that's going to teach them to contact you earlier next year. December's also, however, when you start building next year's holiday lighting marketing. And we're going to talk about exactly what to collect in just a minute, because this is a key component to doing this well over the long haul, over multiple years, right? So look at this timeline. What does this timeline actually do? It doesn't ask you to work harder in November. It asks you to spread that same amount of effort across 2 additional months, so that by the time your competitors are just getting started, you've already primed the idea, opened the calendar, and you've started filling it. Okay, now let's talk about these lighting services and how to package them. Once somebody's ready to say yes, the next thing that matters is how you present the offer. And I want to talk a little bit about buyer psychology. You know I love this. Too many individual decisions can create hesitation. So if you are quoting holiday lighting with a cafeteria list of options, linear feet number, outlet count, per strand, whatever it is, you're asking the homeowner to build their own package from scratch. And that's a lot of decisions. Instead, I want to encourage you to create 3 holiday lighting packages. So something like the classic package, maybe just the roof line and some shrubs. An enhanced package. So you get the roof line, some additional greenery, maybe some tree wraps, pathway or walkway. And then the signature package, full property coverage, right? It's going to look like Santa's workshop, custom design elements, that kind of thing, white glove service. Now, instead of the homeowner figuring out what they want or figuring out if they want to go with you at all, they're looking at 3 options, and 99% of the time they're going to pick that middle option. That is just buyer psychology. It's a much easier yes. And here's the thing. Your enhanced package, that middle package, needs to be the package that is the most profitable for you and that generates great photos, because again, they're going to choose that middle one. So you price it well, make it visually compelling, and then let that package do the selling for you. It also makes your marketing easier across the board. It's much simpler to promote our signature holiday package in a post rather than trying to explain all the line items that a homeowner gets. So packaging isn't just a pricing strategy, now it's also a marketing strategy. Okay, so now let's talk about what to do this season to make next season and the season after that and the season after that much easier. This is the part a lot of you don't think about, and it's so important. It's the difference between starting from scratch every September and having a running head start. This holiday season, when your crews are out installing when they're taking things down, you have an enormous amount of marketing material sitting right in front of you. So don't let it slip by. So let's talk about what assets you need to collect. Of course, before and after photos. You don't just want the finished result. You want a before shot too. Probably shot just at dusk where things are not, maybe they've got some landscape lighting, but it's just a regular house. And then you want to shoot those holiday lights showing the amazing work that your team has done. Make this a required step for every crew on every job, before photo, after photo. This is a time where you may want to invest in some professional photography. I think we all know shooting Christmas lights is hard. If you've ever tried to get shots of your family in front of the tree, you know what I'm talking about. To me, it's worth it to invest in some professional photography to show a handful of homes where you have decorated for the holidays and they can show it in the best light possible, no pun intended. Same thing with videos. Photos are good, videos are better, especially for lighting, because it captures that movement and the twinkle and the warmth and scale in a way that photos can't. So even a short walk-up video with your phone on a fully lit property is going to outperform almost anything else you post next fall. You also want to make sure you're getting behind the scenes footage. Your crew designing the layout, running the lift, wrapping the tree. This builds trust with homeowners and shows the level of care that goes into the work, which matters more than most people realize when they're deciding who to hire for something like this. And finally, you want to get client testimonials, specifically about this holiday lighting. Right after a client's lighting install is finished, or even better, like maybe a week later after they've had friends and family over and they've seen their neighbor's reaction, reach out and ask for feedback specifically about the lighting experience. If this is a maintenance client that you see all the time, they may have done a review for you about your maintenance work. Ask them for one about the lighting too. You want it specific. And you want to, of course, feed them questions that they can answer about it. So what made you decide to do professional holiday lighting this year? What was it like working with our team on the installation? How did your family feel when they saw it lit up for the first time? Those answers become gold for next year's marketing. A testimonial like, we host a big Christmas party every year, and this was the first time the house actually looked the part, is way more persuasive than anything you could write yourself. If you can get a short video testimonial, even better. A real client standing in front of this illuminated, jolly home, right? Saying a sentence or two about the experience is exactly the kind of content that primes next year's prospects before they have even had the first conversation with you. So you do need a simple system to make sure that all of this actually happens. None of this works if you are only depending on somebody remembering to do it in the middle of an already busy December. So you've got to build this into your process the same way you build in any other checklist item. Photo before, photo after, testimonial request sent, video walk-up, contact photographer, blah, blah, blah. Assign this to somebody specific and make it as routine as anything else on the job. Because here's the thing, if you collect all of this well, next September looks completely different. You're not starting from a blank page or going through old photos that aren't organized and that kind of thing. You're already sitting on a library of content and transformations that you can build entire campaigns around. And that's how this compounds. Every year, the head start gets bigger, as long as you are intentional about collecting what's right in front of you. All right, let's bring this all together. Holiday lighting is one of the few services in your business with a true hard deadline every year. And that means timing is not a small detail, it's the whole strategy. So today we talked about why November may feel early to start marketing holiday lighting, but it actually puts you behind the 8 ball because your ideal clients are often planning earlier than you expect or need to be reminded to plan earlier than they expect. We walked through a simple timeline starting in mid-September that lays the groundwork. opens early bird booking in October, ramps up in mid-October, goes all in November, and fills those last few spots in December. We talked about packaging your lighting services into 3 tiers so clients are choosing a level instead of deciding whether to do it at all or trying to pick and choose little aspects of it, knowing that the middle option is going to get chosen more often than any other one. And we talked about the piece most companies skip entirely, using this season to collect all of the marketing assets you're going to need for next year. Photos, videos, client testimonials, all of those things. So here's what I want you to do this week. Here's your homework. Pick your start date. If you haven't already, put mid-September on the calendar as the week you begin priming the idea online. Now that means you've got to start getting your assets, so last year's photos and videos together right now, and hopefully you have those. Build a simple checklist for your crew this season so nothing gets missed before, after, and a testimonial ask. The companies that win holiday lighting season aren't the ones with the best lights. They're the ones who started the conversation before anyone else did. And don't forget, we've got that free downloadable guide to help you put all of this into play. Check out the Holiday Lighting Marketing Playbook at scriptmarketingco.com/resources. That's a wrap for today. I'm your host, Katy Doss of Script Marketing, where we help landscaping businesses attract better clients and build predictable year-round growth. If you've got questions or ideas for a future episode, we always want to hear those. Email info@scriptmarketingco.com. We'll see you next week for more strategies from the Landscaping Growth Script.
You've been listening to the Landscaping Growth Script with Katy Doss. To learn more about building predictable, year-round growth for your landscaping business, visit scriptmarketingco.com.